It's like a treasure trove. It's like you open it up and you're just like, oh my gosh, so many possibilities. And for me, as like a lifelong learner, yes, it's like a treasure. Well, I'm Nicole. My sort of stage name is Werner, but Sliwa is my last name, and I live in California. I teach musical theater, jazz, American songbook, and pop and rock. A lot of the things I started with in the beginning of my teaching career were classical, looking back now that I realize. Like it was discouraging because I would read texts and think that's not the way I sing, or if I couldn't like sight read the solfege, then apparently I wasn't a singer. So it just was sad. And then also as a singer, I basically was a passenger in the car. I got to destinations, which I was lucky to do. I just somehow got there. But when I started teaching, I had to drive people or at least guide them, and I had no idea how to get there. During COVID, a lot of things popped up online. So I started taking some courses and they were really great, but I was also afraid to ask questions. The environments were a little bit intense. And I remembered you from The Naked Vocalist, and I loved that podcast. So I think I got your movement assessment somehow in my email. Then I decided to try out Evolve. And then once I watched you teach, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm in. I just want to do this every month. So it was really watching the group calls that made a huge difference for me. I studied musical theater in an advanced degree. I still had no idea about the pedagogy. Like, you know so much, but you know nothing about this other part. Just watching you work with a student, make them feel comfortable, laughing a lot, having fun in a nice environment, and then watching you be more intuitive, which is something that I'm really drawn to because I can tend to be an overthinker, and you have all the knowledge in you, so you like trust it and then you intuit in the moment, and I love watching that. Well, I hear completely differently. I hear a more functional, I guess, way, but I don't mean just one part of function. Some people can really focus on register, some people can really focus on breath, but I'm listening with a lot of different ears. And I'm starting to notice bodies more in the way that they affect the voice, and we talk about the emotions. I just have so many more tools, and I'm not afraid to try them. So I've had this student for a really long time, and so it's gotten to a place where she knows we know each other almost too well, but it's still good, really good. And I don't know how to get through to her now at this point because she was trying to control the sound basically in her throat. It just wasn't free. And so I did the whole thing where you say, we all know that we have throats and that they do resonate and they do an important job. However, sometimes they have too many jobs. So I was just telling her to pretend she doesn't have a throat. And it was amazing because she's doing her arms and her swaying. We already had done the physical stuff. She loves that. And then her air was just moving in a really free way. It sounded totally different. And her tongue released in some way that was more beneficial for her. And so then she felt better. Like she didn't feel like it was a lot of work to sing it. It just was happening, almost like you're flying. I love the quote, "If I cannot fly, let me sing," because it just feels like you're using air and magic carpeting. So anyway, she had that sensation. And to make somebody singing easier is the privilege we have. That's what I'm saying, Chris. It's like before I speak, I tend to think about the 10 reasons why this exercise is possibly going to work. Like going back to every textbook in my head, I will pull up a format structure in my head and be like, does this mathematically? And then this time around, I think you've given me more tools to be, hey, this is true. Even if it's useful lie, as you talk about, it does work. So I used my intuition more and I didn't get stuck in the weeds of my own head. I brought a student in, he is a high schooler and he's a senior and he loves singing so much, but speaking of overthinkers, he is one, and everything feels hard about his singing. That comes from him. So I got to bring him in and work with you, and it was amazing because the things that I had been trying, I think that they were probably on the right track, but they were maybe for a different reason. And you basically distracted him and he just loved it so much. And the fact that I could bring him to a professional coach, it just made him feel like I really care about him, which I do. And it was such a great opportunity for him. So it's made a huge difference. He got a solo in choir at the end of the year now, and he's never had one. It was just a really good experience. The content on Evolve or any of the programs with Chris is both full, but also applicable. It's like a treasure trove. It's like you open it up and you're just like, oh my gosh, so many possibilities. And for me, as like a lifelong learner, Yes, it's like a treasure. I find that the videos, I go over them over and over because there's always something new that I hear. They're very thorough, but there's also real life examples. You can hear audio. You're engaging and fun, so it makes it less intense. And so you can learn better, in my opinion. And then the group calls are really valuable. Just to be with a group of teachers who are also confused, but also finding their way and watching you teach or bringing a student in, bringing our own voices in. Oh my gosh, it's the best. Chris, your videos are well done. They don't feel rushed. Like I notice when there's like a typo, I'm that person, but you don't have a lot of that. It feels like you put a ton of time into your content. I just need things to look and sound like you've put a lot of time in. And so you do that. So I'm glad. People in my life are so over me. They're like, what's going on? I'm taking this class, like I do it every Monday. And this teacher named Chris, they're just like, don't you know enough about voice? No, I'm learning all the time. Like they have no idea, number one, how big the field is and how it's changing still because it's bodies. But also they can't, they're like, that's great. You're still doing more school? I'm like, yes.